And welcome to another edition of The End Zone along with Cameron Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. Finally, the college football playoff bracket is complete. The Oklahoma Sooners are the number 8 seed. They will rematch the Alabama Crimson Tide, a game that took place, it feels like yesterday, but it's been a few weeks. 23-21 win for the Sooners in Tuscaloosa. This one's going to be under the lights in Norman, Oklahoma, the first ever college football playoff game in Norman for such a storied program. Obviously, this is going to be a huge night. Cameron, this time of year is as good as it gets.
Yes, and what a treat for OU fans, as you mentioned. The playoffs coming to you under the lights, primetime game against a blue blood historic program. It does not get much better than that. Well, I was about to say classic SEC showdown. It's really not, but it is going to be really fun to watch. You've got a lot working for both teams. Both teams want revenge, or it's going to be a fun night.
The bluest of the blue bloods, right? I mean, when you talk about the bluest of blue bloods, it's OU, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State. That's probably the list. And you get these two matching up in a playoff game. I know watching the home games last year, and I think Notre Dame, I don't remember who Notre Dame played, but watching that home playoff atmosphere at Notre Dame for their home playoff game. Tennessee and Ohio State played the first round last year. That atmosphere was incredible. I didn't necessarily think like, wow, OU would be awesome, because they seemingly a year ago were really far away from making the college football playoff at 6 and 7. But I just thought like there are so many cool places that could host a college football game and in the playoffs, and what an atmosphere that would be like. And fast forward, here we are, OU, Alabama. I mean, the last time Alabama was in town, the goalpost came down. The fans rushed the field. I mean, nobody thought it was possible. Now OU has 2 wins over Alabama, and they're going to play for the 3rd time in 13 months. You could say Brent Venables owns Kalen DeBoer so far.
You could, except you bring up 3rd time. It scares me a little bit because, if you're Alabama, you're saying 3rd time's the charm. But, time will tell on that. This is just a fun matchup that, I mean, talking about the crowd, if you're looking at the list of places across the country, Norman, Oklahoma is probably not the first place you think of as far as, an electric environment. But for us, we know it is, and I'm excited for that to be showcased on the I mean, it's always on the national stage for the most part.
No
but
doubt.
For people to really see playoff Oklahoma is going to be really cool.
Under the lights, especially, because we haven't had one of those SEC matchups under the lights yet this season, despite it being such a great schedule. You mentioned 3rd time's a charm. I think Alabama fans thought 2nd time was a charm, because they will remind you that even though they lost the game in Tuscaloosa, they outgained OU by almost 200 yards. So, Alabama really beat Alabama. OU didn't beat Alabama. Or at least that's what the Tide fans will tell you about the matchup a few weeks ago. Ultimately, I mean, Oklahoma did it like they've been doing it the second half of the season, and that's defense and special teams. Offense has been a struggle each and every week, but they've found ways to get it done. Obviously, you look at the turnovers there. OU gets 3 turnovers, didn't turn the ball over themselves, and that's the difference in the ballgame.
Well, I mean, you've said it. Defense wins championships. That's what's going to work for them this postseason, especially against Alabama, who is ready for a shot at revenge. I think what's funny about that Alabama game, that's kind of when the wheels started to get a little wiggly with the offense, and that's when you started to see things not look like how you would want them to. So it'll be really interesting to see if facing a familiar opponent, like maybe they settle back into that feeling that worked for them, or if, you give in to the hype around it. And so we'll see what they can come up with. Hopefully this break is what they need.
Well, the week before, it felt like the offense kind of came alive against Tennessee. And then in this game, obviously, you had the Mateer touchdown early set up by a turnover, but Xavier Robinson took a big hit, was hurt, and hadn't really been himself since that hit, and we're seeing it right now. And later in the game, Torrey Blaylock took a massive shot that also, I think, has prevented him from being himself. So, this Oklahoma team, I think in this run where they weren't turning the ball over, it's because they were able to run the football and not put the ball at risk as much. If those guys are healthy in the playoff game, then maybe you're not doing what you did against LSU, which is throwing the ball as much as they had to. The John Mateer run game obviously is a big factor for the offense. But, there were a couple drives in the second half where they were throwing the football, found Isaiah Satania a couple times, found Carter for a key first down late in that game. Giovanni Gibson had a key first down before a penalty knocked them out of field goal range to extend the lead. But I think ability for both of these coordinators to look at the other side and having experienced that just a few weeks ago and make adjustments is a lot of fun for this matchup. And especially for Brent Venables being the defensive coordinator on the other side of the matchup. They gave up a bunch of yards, and I know after the game he wasn't happy with the overall defensive performance, but they did sack Ty Simpson 4 times, and they were able to generate a couple turnovers.
Yeah, and I think what's really crucial for OU as well is their ability to generate those explosive plays. You were saying, I mean, maybe they don't move the ball in the most flashy way, and yes, there is a lot of cause for concern, but as you mentioned, those plays, they get them when they matter. And that's what a good team does. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully it doesn't just come down to explosive plays in the end and they get those gears kind of rolling again. But, yeah, we'll see. Defensively,
though, I thought, I mean, regardless of the 400 yards that Alabama put up, I thought they had pressure on Ty Simpson throughout the game. I mean, there wasn't a lot of plays where Ty Simpson dropped back and just had all day to throw or drop back and felt comfortable in the pocket. And there are some rumors that Ty Simpson may be injured, and we'll see what kind of Ty Simpson, or if we get Ty Simpson in the playoff game, but he's going to remember that pass rush, and I thought at times they really made him uncomfortable to the point that he wasn't the guy that he had been for the first 8 weeks of the season before this game. Again, you know, I know they made some big plays. They have great players. That's going to happen in this game, but the OU defense won the matchup overall, especially when you add the takeaways. The special teams from Oklahoma also contributed in a big way, and they've really been great most of the season. This was probably their best game because early in the game, Satania has the big punt return that sets up the first field goal for the Sooners. You know, you force a fumble on an Alabama punt return. You block a field goal later in the game. Tate Sandell is arguably the best kicker in college football. I mean, it can't just be defense doing it all if you don't have the help of special. I mean, you got to kind of have, the offense isn't doing things. You got to have the help of both the defense and the special teams. And I thought this game, the special teams was as good as maybe any game I've ever seen from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I feel like you hear a lot of coaches say, you know, when you talk to them, that if you can get things working in 2 out of the 3 phases of the game, most of the time you're in a good spot. And OU has proven that time and time again. They are just, I mean, minus, you know, the offense, obviously, they're dangerous in every area. And even the offense still, like you said, those explosive plays. I mean, but yeah, it's just been fun to watch them do what they've done in that side of the ball that gets talked about less than your offense or your defense. They've just been a really impressive unit.
Just imagine the Twitter tears if Oklahoma wins again but gets outgained by 100 or 200 yards. My gosh, you might have people setting fires in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. All right, we've got to take a timeout. I have a jaw-dropping stat about the Thunder's dominance, plus we're going to have 10 seconds of MAC football coming up next here on the End Zone. All right, we got to talk OKC Thunder basketball. They are on a record-setting roll. The reigning world champs just have done nothing but decimate pretty much everybody in their path. I mean, the Portland Trailblazers are the one blemish right now on the record, and that was a game that they led by 20-plus points early in the game and just kind of took their foot off the gas, and unfortunately it went the other way. But 24-1. Tied for the best start in NBA history through 25 games. So I'm going to have to read the notes because I wish I could remember this stat without looking and having a cheat sheet. We have the graphic here, though. This is a testament to the Thunder's dominance so far this season. OKC is led by 20 or more points for a grand total of 264 minutes and 17 seconds of game time this basketball season. Okay?
Okay.
They have trailed by any point total for 249 minutes and 53 seconds this season. They have led by more than 20 points for 15 more minutes than they've trailed the entire season.
Now, okay, don't take my silence as not reacting. I'm processing here. That's pretty crazy.
264 game minutes, they have been up by 20 or more points. 249 game minutes, they've trailed in some capacity.
Huh. Wow.
I'm mind blown by that, but I mean that.
I think I'm still I get it, and I'm still processing. It's just that's wild.
Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
mean, it's a testament to their complete dominance and ability to just run away from pretty much every opponent that's been on their schedule. They also are clearly on pace to break records. I mean, 24-1 start. That ties Golden State's 24-1 start when they broke the record of 73 wins in an NBA season. The Thunder's NBA Cup win over the Suns the other night set a team record 16-game win streak. So every game they win from here on out adds to that win streak. And right now, they have the best point differential through 25 games in NBA history. They are plus 439 points compared to what their opponents had scored against them. The next best ever in NBA history is the 1967 Boston Celtics, who were plus 380.
Can you believe this? I mean, you come off a title run, and everyone says it's hard to do it again.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
But what they've done so far is better than what they've done last year. It's scary if you're anyone but a Thunder fan. It's fun to watch otherwise.
And when you look at how they're getting it done, I mean, obviously this is the team that won the NBA title. You expect if that whole group comes back that they are going to win a tremendous amount of games. Even if they were fully healthy, this would be incredibly impressive. But you didn't have your second best player for the majority of this run, right? He's only been back for, 4 or 5 games. Chet Holmgren missed time early. You've had Alex Caruso in and out of the lineup. Lou Dort has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. Isaiah Hartenstein has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. Key players on this team that if you looked at any other team and they lost that guy on their team are not sustaining the same level of excellence. I mean, it's not like they've lost key players and they're squeaking by with these wins. They're, wobbly wheels just finding a way to win. They're still mowing everyone down despite having, Alex Caruso out or Cason Wallace out or Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren or Isaiah Hartenstein. Aaron Wiggins missed a bunch of time, right? Like Isaiah Joe wasn't available for the first 5 to 7 games, I believe. It's been a number of players that have missed time, and they don't seem to miss a beat regardless of who it is.
Yeah, I saw a stat somewhere that was totaling the minutes that the projected starting 5 of this year had spent together, and it is very few. I mean, they just know how to work with every different kind of combination that's on the floor. And that's just, to me, the most impressive thing, that, to your point, you can take out a key player and they look like they still have all their key players on the floor, if that makes sense. But, it's mind-boggling how well they are doing. I mean, I expected them to do well, but this is beyond expectations for me.
Well, they are advancing to the NBA Cup semifinals. They will play the San Antonio Spurs on Saturday. So that's in Las Vegas. They win that game, they will head to the NBA Cup Championship, where they will face either the Knicks or the Orlando Magic, and that will take place next Tuesday, I believe, the NBA Cup Championship. So in line to go back, although they did lose that game last year, and people said they can't win the big one, and it seemed to work out in their favor. All right, let's get to 10 seconds of MAC football with Adam King.
All right, we got the first ever 10 seconds group of 5 playoff bracket. It's not small ball with these conferences. We got to start with the unveiling of the #1 overall seed in our.
All right, that was 10 seconds of MAC football with Adam King. It is a college football playoff edition of Moving the Chains next on the End Zone. All right, welcome back to the End Zone. It is time for Moving the Chains, a college football playoff edition of Moving the Chains. The bracket is complete. We know that Oklahoma is going to host Alabama. A&M will host Miami to Notre Dame's demise, and they are going to let you know about it, despite the most dominant 10-game stretch in college football history. Ole Miss in a rematch hosting Tulane, and obviously Oregon and James Madison. So 1st and 10, Cameron, what is the most likely first-round upset?
Upset.
First-round upset. What do you think?
Most likely, I mean, it's hard to call a number 10 beating a 7 an upset. I mean, it is, but I would say most likely. I don't think it's likely.
Okay.
But I'm going to go out of the options.
All right.
Ole Miss and Tulane. Ole Miss, obviously, without its head coach that's gotten them to this point. So there's a little bit of unstableness there. I think that might be the easy answer, but
I think that's a wild answer, actually, because first of all, I don't know who's the upset here, because OU's the higher seed, but Alabama's the actual favorite in the game, so you probably have to throw that one out. I would say it's Miami beating Texas A&M. Ole Miss played Tulane early in the season and won by like 35 points, so I mean, is Lane Kiffin worth 35 points? I don't know. I guess pay him $10 million extra if Tulane
that's
pulls
the
off
case.
that upset and proves that he's worth 35.
Maybe that's me hoping for that
Yeah.
upset.
Well,
Speaking of
that might be kind of fun as well.
I like chaos
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
All right, of the top 4 seeds, second down,
Mm-hmm.
which is most likely to get upset in the second round?
Ooh.
Top 4 seeds, Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas Tech. Which is most likely to get upset?
I'm gonna lean toward Texas Tech. It's either
Okay.
Texas Tech or Georgia, but
Okay.
most likely Texas Tech to me.
I mean, I think we all feel pretty
Yeah.
safe in saying it's going to be Oregon
Yeah.
playing them, whereas maybe the other ones, I mean, Georgia's played Ole Miss, actually. That would be a
Yeah.
rematch, but Oregon, Texas Tech, I think would be a phenomenal game. I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, to me, almost a pick 'em. Probably slight favorite toward Tech, but
Sure.
almost a pick 'em. That would be a really fun game. All right, third down, best possible second round matchup. What is the best possible second round matchup for you?
Well, best talent-wise versus best because we haven't seen it yet. I mean, if it's Ole Miss and Georgia, that's a game we've seen.
Which was Ole Miss led
It
for the
was a
majority
good-
of the game, and
it was a
Georgia
good
came back
game.
at the end in Athens.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, I just blanked. What was the question again?
Best possible second round matchup.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I mean, to me, we talked about the upset,
Yeah.
but Oregon and
Yeah.
Texas Tech, that's going to be an entertaining one.
That would be a fun one. I debated on that. I also, like we said, the Ole Miss Georgia game the first time around in Athens
Yeah.
was incredibly close. I mean, Georgia came back in the fourth quarter and won, but Ole Miss beat them down for 3 quarters. I'm going to go Oklahoma, Indiana. First of all, it's at the Rose Bowl, which is
Yeah, there is
arguably
that.
the best host site of any college football playoff game. And I just want to see the most likely Heisman Trophy winner or odds-on favorite Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, face that Oklahoma defense. To me,
Yeah.
that would be the best possible matchup.
Yeah.
Give me Mendoza versus the Oklahoma pass rush. Let's see what happens as the sun sets over the mountains and the Rose Bowl gets to take that in.
A lot of good
so
options.
that's probably my favorite. All right, final one. If you could trade Oklahoma's seeding with 5, 6, or 7, would you trade it? And if so, which one?
Man, that's a tough one. I think it would be between, I think, 5 and 7. Oh, I don't know. These are all great options because there's part of me that would like to see a Big 12
Yeah.
rematch just for nostalgia's sake. Obviously, that'd be a bit different than it was back then. And then Georgia and OU, that would be a fun one, especially when you think back to their first playoff run in the new era. But I'm gonna go 5.
Okay. That would be fun. I mean, Texas Tech is so good defensively.
Right.
You go back to like the Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes
Yes.
era where it was like
Yeah.
offense. Now
They're
both
both
teams,
switched.
not that Tech is bad offensively, but both have 2 of the best defenses in college football. That would be a fun matchup. I think most Sooner fans would say just avoid that side of the bracket
Yeah.
and having to play potentially Ohio State and Georgia in the second round, but I kind of like where they're at. I mean, OU Alabama is a historic matchup. You get possibly a chance at the number 1 seed in the Rose Bowl. I kind of like the draw they
Yeah.
have, but if I had to pick one, it's probably dropping down to 5 and getting almost an automatic win before you would play Texas Tech
Yeah.
in the second round.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Moving the Chains. We'll wrap things up with game picks next here on the End Zone. All right, let's jump straight into game picks. One of the greatest spectacles in sports, Army versus Navy.
You know, I think statistically Army's got a better defense, but they haven't played an offense that's been as efficient as Navy. They've also got a great quarterback over there. I picked Navy in this one. Or excuse me, Army to cover, Navy to win.
All right, give me Navy to win and Navy to cover. Boise State at Washington. Bowl season has arrived.
It has. I'm going with Boise State on this one. Honestly,
Probably
this
means you're a
one's good.
winner because I'm taking Washington, so I think you're
Okay.
probably on the right side of things
Yeah.
in that one. All right, the Thunder and the Spurs in the NBA Cup semifinal.
After everything we just talked about earlier, it feels wrong to go against the Thunder, so I'm riding with Oklahoma City in this
Make
one.
it minus 20, and I'm taking the Thunder. Thunder roll into the NBA Cup title game. All right, the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
You've got a team playing for pride and a team playing to keep its season alive, and at home, I pick the Cowboys to get the win.
If the Cowboys don't get the win and don't cover, my pride is going to be very hurt as a Cowboy fan, so Cowboys minus 5. All right, OU Alabama. Alabama's the favorite.
This is the game that I went back and forth on so much. I really would not be surprised by any outcome in this game. But I'm going to go the optimistic route, and I think that Oklahoma is going to pull off the win.
I picked Alabama in the first matchup. Oklahoma got it done. I'm picking Oklahoma again. I think the defense is just too much for Ty Simpson and that offense, and they'll find a way to put points on the board.
Yep.
All right, that is it for us. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.